it recording? Okay. Are we recording on that?
Yeah. Okay. Go.
Hey guys, listen up. This is almost certainly our last podcast. Christian died.
Christian's
time.
not here
Stay
anymore.
out of frame. It'll ruin the joke.
Christian,
You idiot.
Christian, it turned out that he got so worried about his balls. He died from the worry.
See this empty seat? This horse without a rider? This chair?
Look at this empty space. There's nothing left of him to remind me. Just a memory of the face.
Warning. The medical views expressed in this podcast are for entertainment purposes only and are not necessarily the opinions of medical professionals. They are the views of paranoid hypochondriacs, so if you actually have concerns, please see an actual doctor.
Hello, and welcome to their 7th and probably last podcast.
If you have a
minor discomfort in your upper chest,
and you
immediately assume it's a cardiac arrest. Oh, doctor, please give me an answer. Got this pain in my left ball and I just know that it's cancer.
know that it's cancer.
Now all of our doctors are feeling harassed, so this is probably our last
Sounds like pneumonia.
probably our last podcast.
We need your help. We need your donations.
We need your money. I am once again asking you for your financial
once again
support.
asking you to be my Valentine. I know I failed the first time.
We have a present.
What do you have?
We do. We do have a present sent in from a listener.
For real?
Okay.
For real. It's a very. I mean, it's Kate's mum, but she does listen to the
Aw.
podcast.
That's great.
And the shirt says, "Don't make me get the talking stick," because she listens to us a lot, and I think she's found out that we often speak over each other. And
Oh, I see that.
Oh, we get to hand the.
so this
I
is
see
a
what she's
talking
doing.
stick. So because I guess in a podcast it's important.
This reminds
little
me
bit of
though.
a
We
lesson.
need T-shirts.
We do need merch.
I thought it was going to be probably our last podcast, teachers, but this is just as good.
This is still cool. We'll put them on, but this is a talking stick.
Okay, have we
So you can talk.
sanitized it?
Yeah.
You can't talk. I have the talking stick.
This is gonna be.
Oh,
This is
no.
gonna make
This
things
is gonna be
worse.
bad.
But it's also a real magic stick because
I realise it's a podcast,
No, no,
a
no.
conversational podcast.
it's a
not just-
conversation.
this is not
Someone's
like,
breaking the rules, and I can kill you with this stick. It's a magic stick.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a real magic wand, and I'll prove it to you by
How?
doing this magic spell.
What are you going to do?
Oh, Winky Tinky Tonk.
Oh my God!
How did I get here?
Magic stick.
Goddamn.
That's
y'all.
real magic. That's real life magic. And the podcast listeners are so amazed right now. Let me just tell you what happened.
Hear
He
it.
just materialized someone into being, and it happened to be my girlfriend. Where
Yeah.
were you?
I was in my bedroom.
Yeah. Oh
my God.
I don't know what happened.
This must be so scary
Powerful thing.
for you.
And you know
It's a little
what? We
bit.
always think of good bits for the podcast, don't we? Because that will mean and do nothing.
We have my girlfriend here.
Hey.
Whee!
Woo!
Her name
Make a
is
cheering noise for myself.
Nicole Nelson, and you might recognize her from the Nickelodeon show I Am Frankie.
Nick.
She played Dayton Reyes. Did I get that right?
Dayton.
Close enough.
What?
Dayton Reyes.
Dayton
And
Reyes.
no, it was a Hispanic last name, and I know.
Right.
I'm very white.
But Reyes, you can be called Reyes, I guess.
You know what my
Did you
mom
get
always said?
gunged? Sorry to interrupt.
All good.
Did you get gunged?
What does it mean?
Like,
What,
isn't
the-
that
the
like a
goose-
Nickelodeon
the goose
tradition
stuff?
to
You
get
mean
like
mean
gunged?
slime?
Slimed.
I was gonna say, what the
Oh.
fuck?
They
is
call it
like,
this?
what
gunged.
is
They call it gunged in England.
Oh,
Like
that's
I
so
just
weird.
went really sinister. Did you get gunged on the show?
I'm still alive, so.
Dude, I
Right.
wanted. That was like a childhood dream.
get
Like,
slimed.
Everyone wanted to go to what was the Nick? It was like
Nick Choice? No, not Nick.
Friday
Choice.
afternoons or whatever. I remember coming home from school and watching Nickelodeon and the slime stuff happening.
Yeah, man. Did you get slimed?
So, I did, but I wasn't technically supposed to. Like
Oh.
I didn't get slimed for like I Am Frankie and being on Nickelodeon. I actually, at one point in my life, ended up doing background for a SpongeBob episode that incorporated real human beings.
Oh, the live action stuff. That's so
And
cool.
they
really cool.
slimed me as like a young background little. Well, I wasn't a little girl. I mean, it was within 3 years.
Right.
But I got slimed, and it was very cold and unpleasant.
Ooh.
Wait, was it very viscous, or was it more kind of
Watery.
Like,
What color?
Oh, so you
Yeah.
just felt wet.
It was pretty gross.
What
yeah.
color was it?
Well, so they actually mixed the slime with beans, and it was brown and kind of chunky vomity.
with
What?
beans?
Why would
It
they
was
mix it
for
with
the
beans?
SpongeBob
I
episode.
was gonna say usually the
It sounds
slime
like
is
you
like
got-
bright
you got-
green.
you got
beans.
salsa'd.
Yeah, you got salsa.
It was a whole Mexican meal. That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Actually sounds
great.
really good.
It wasn't
Sounds
on
like
me.
one of my dreams.
Okay, I gotta watch this now though, because I love those SpongeBob live action
Jeez.
episodes.
Let me
I
know
love-
how it is.
kind of the clown has
That
no
looked like it
penis.
really hurt. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. First of all, a question doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong answer here. Would you consider yourself a hypochondriac?
So, yes. Here's the thing. It's
Ding, ding, ding.
It's a very
didn't know this.
specific type. Okay. This is you're about to learn a lot about me. I'm so sorry, Jonah. You're about to see how weird your girlfriend really is. It's all about to come
Shit's
out.
getting
Okay, here we
real,
go.
little bitch.
So
Get with it. Get with it.
you guys would say like you live in fear pretty much, right?
Oh yeah.
Try
We
not
live-
to, but yeah, we
You
do.
live in fear over your health and your body, but I would say that the deal with hypochondriacs mostly is that you always go to the worst case scenario, which for you is death, right?
Yeah, usually.
You always say this is going to happen, this and this and this, and you're going to die.
Right.
Right.
It quite often leads to death.
To death. Right. Like 90% of the time.
It's an overthinking thing.
Right. So I want you to imagine a world in which death is not the worst case scenario.
Whoa.
The worst case scenario is vomiting. That, my friends, is called emittophobia. That's right.
Whoa.
I'm bringing out the terms.
Emittophobia.
You have a fear of vomiting.
So this is changing. We're going to start back when I was young, once upon a time.
Okay.
in Hollywood.
So basically, that was great, Boom.
Okay.
There you go.
My mom has emittophobia severely. She's in her mid-50s, still has it, struggles to this day, lots of high anxiety. I actually ended up taking that on as a child and did not realize like how it affected me and until like the past couple years.
You
And
saw her fear of vomiting and
I became an adult and I kind of like put pieces together and I
Right.
realize now how much it controlled my childhood. It made me what's the word when you're afraid of like germs? Germaphobe. It made me a germaphobe. Everything in my life would spiral into this like terrible, terrible fear of vomiting because I saw it happen to my mom. And she's since realized like how serious it is. And she's like, been like, oh my God, you took that from me. I'm so sorry.
How dare she?
We
I'm
couldn't have
sorry.
known that would have happened
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things where it's like from what you eat to like your interactions to like anything that would lead to vomiting, whether
Okay,
it was
because that was going to be my question.
Because it's a
Yeah.
different.
So like, my question is, does the fear? So first of all, what is it about vomiting that you're afraid of? Is it the action of vomiting? Is it vomit itself that you're afraid of? And also, so you're then living to try and somehow avoid vomiting, which is usually just. I only vomit, for example, when I have a bug or when I've eaten
Right.
something bad.
Right.
So, and I'm just wondering, I guess that's two questions.
Right.
But the first one was, are you afraid of the act of vomiting or of vomit? Or
So I'm actually not anymore. I've
Oh,
overcome
so you're not-
that.
okay.
But there are certain things that it kind of made me like, for example, like the germophobia, like things that kind of still stick with me that I implemented when I was like in 6th grade that make me a total weirdo with germs. But if that's a good question because I noticed early on that usually people would only vomit if they had a bug.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, the illness thing.
you're
Everything-
rejecting something.
Yes, or like the food food,
Bad
whatever.
food, yeah.
Bad food.
Still.
So everything was kind of around like the feeling leading up to it and the actual feeling of it happening. Like it was, my fear became so severe. It was like if somebody showed up with like, a pill that would make you vomit on cue and a gun, I'd be like, put a bullet through my head. I'd rather die than vomit right now.
Whoa.
That's how severe.
So you're afraid of because I have to agree for a second. Not that I have this phobia.
It's horrible.
But I do agree that some people can take vomiting like a champ, and some people don't know when it's about to happen. For me, I'm going to get graphic here, but why not? That's what the podcast is about.
Graphic.
For me, when I'm about to vomit, I get such a high temperature, I go pale, and for about 5 minutes, I feel like the worst nausea ever. And then my body starts to physically sweat, and then I know. I just know that it's about to happen.
Yeah, you get the warning signs.
You get warning
Vomiting
signs.
is horrible.
But again, like, so does your mum still suffer from it?
Oh, yes.
So do you think the fear comes from how unpleasant that feeling is, or does it come from the vomiting leading to something worse?
I think it's not leading. It's the actual thing.
Just the act of it. It's
all
so
of it.
horrible.
But then
that
that
you're just
also
scared of
that
doing
would
it.
imply that it's similar to hypochondriacs and germaphobes,
Yeah.
whereas trying to prevent yourself from getting sick to not vomit. So there's a
Right.
lot of the same stuff that you're doing,
Right.
which is like I just don't want to get sick.
I was-
But you're specifically not wanting to get sick because
Interesting.
I got a good
don't wanna
vomit
vomit.
story for you.
Oh,
Do you?
Let's do it.
Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
But you don't have a fear of vomiting anymore.
I mean, it still sucks, but I do not, like, I used to prevent myself from, like,
From being
going
sick
places
when you needed
and
to be in.
doing things
Right.
and that. And it's like, and when I really needed to, I wouldn't let myself.
What about when somebody else vomits?
Oh, yeah, no way.
okay.
I'm the worst. I run out. You're on your own.
Oh wow! See, okay, so
The
there's
worst.
probably multifaceted then, because sometimes people have to help, or like, 'cause, sometimes you have to pat the person on the back. Anyway, let's hear this story. Let's hear this.
Vomit story.
Let's get some vomit music.
Vomit
we have-
of the week.
No, this is if you've ever heard vomit story music before, this is it.
Okay,
Let that roll.
fire away.
I actually, a lot of anxiety attacks that I've had are induced by a feeling of nausea, and or it's like a vicious cycle. I don't know what starts what, if it's the anxious feelings that trigger that, or if it's the nausea that triggers
Nausea's
the anxiety. The anxiety. But when I was at going to Cal Arts, my junior year, there was this big scare that went down in the fall. And the reason I say the fall is because it was around the big Halloween party at Cal Arts, which is huge. It's like a big deal. It's like a very famous college party. Thousands of people show up, and this is in the days leading up to this event. And one night, well, we learn about this. We get to class the next day. That the night before, everyone in the dormitories, like, not everyone, dozens of people were vomiting everywhere profusely, to the point where kids didn't know what to do. They were going to the hospital. They were getting IVs. And I go, that sounds really bad. If people are throwing up that much.
Jeez.
I'm already, of course, a hypochondriac. And that's something, it's like, even if I know that someone's been sick within the last week with something like that, I'm like, stay the fuck away.
And it
from
smells horrible too.
I was not in that part of the dormitories. I was in an apartment across across the campus, but they didn't know what was going on at first. They thought it was food poisoning because everyone that got sick had been to the cafeteria that day. And then they started figuring out, hold on, not everyone who got sick ate the same thing. They didn't all eat the same thing.
What? No. Come on. He was in the middle of a conversation.
I know.
What
but
are you
I was
doing?
Just trying to get the stick.
This is ridiculous
I
now.
was just trying to get him to hold the stick.
Oh, dude, he's been talking for like 5
I know he has,
minutes.
and I realised.
And you broke up the whole story.
It's important.
Jesus.
About to get real.
There you go. It's for this moment.
Okay. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that was
Froze
special. Okay.
Special moment. What I don't know if I phrased that correctly, but they figured out that a bunch of people were getting sick, not just people who ate one type of food. It wasn't exclusive to one food group or anything like that.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now. I need to know what happened.
So this is what went down. People are still getting sick for days afterwards. That night, I had a weird instinct. The night people started getting sick, I woke up in the middle of the night in the apartment, and I go, something's just wrong, and I had to go to the bathroom. And my instinct, I kid you not, my instinct, as I went to the toilet, said, don't go in there.
Whoa.
Don't use the toilet. And I was like, yeah, something's off.
So you're telling us you're psychic now as well?
I had a weird instinct. I don't know if that, it was, I think being psychic, if there is such a thing.
Maybe intuitive.
Really is just, it has to do with like being able to.
Energies, vibe.
But being able to gather little subconscious bits of information into a whole.
Reading.
Hypochondriac senses were tingling.
Spidey senses.
Yes.
So I go to the bathroom across the way in the school and go to the bathroom.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle
Hang
of
on,
the night.
this is crazy. I'm sorry. The fact that you just... I'm imagining you kind of standing outside of your... And no, I won't use
I
that.
walked. I looked at the toilet. I'm like, something's wrong. It wasn't like there was vomit
Right,
everywhere.
you just
But I
sensed
might have
it.
heard something in my sleep.
Wow.
I wonder if that's what it was. So luckily, I didn't go into that bathroom because someone in my apartment was sick with whatever this was, but they thought it was food poisoning. No one knew it was a contagious thing at that point.
Shit,
so everyone's
mothercracker.
still walking around, shaking hands in close quarters. Turns out to be norovirus.
Whoa.
The
It's horrible.
CDC shut the school down.
Coming through the...
No, from people catching the neurovirus.
So whatever something happened with it could have been lettuce or something, or just something that was transported into the cafeteria on that particular day that spread like wildfire.
And you managed not to get it.
I managed not to get it. Like 80 to 90 people got sick from this thing. They
I
shut
feel like
the school down.
also you've always washed your hands very well, and you've
Always.
so you're so good at that, and I feel like that even right now I'm totally not scared for you. This coronavirus is coming nowhere near Alex Sill.
It's just like, oh yeah, I just do.
He
what
could
I
go
do.
to China. Alex is the only person that can go to China and be safe because he washes his hand that much.
I'm gonna get rid of this.
I actually got the neurovirus.
You got the norovirus?
I did.
No.
I got the neurovirus when I was in
That's
England.
right.
And
He's so excited
I know, he's so excited. It was going around, probably around the same time that it, went around England and stuff. And I remember feeling so sick and being sick so much that I thought I was dying. And and in my head,
Can I just
no, let me
preface?
just finish. In my head, I was, to paint as dramatic a picture as what was reality,
to paint a dramaticus picture as what was reality?
I feel like reading Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's it. I was like something out of a movie, passed out on the bathroom floor, completely naked, all the fans on, sweating profusely, actually saying something like, if this is going to kill me,
Take
just
me
make it
down.
quick.
God,
Seriously.
Take me away.
That's what I was doing. But the reason I bring this up too is not only because of the neurovirus connection, but also because
I need to preface
there a
because you're going on now, and I need to tell the listeners that Christian, when he is sick, he says the neurovirus made him feel like he was dying. Every time Christian gets a bug, stomach bug, like it could even be a cold, he's on the sofa, he's going, ugh, Mama, call the ambulance, I'm dying. And he goes, and then he'll make you get everything for him. Give me water.
I love that accent. He puts on an accent.
sick.
I sound like that somehow.
He goes, I can't
The
see.
norovirus, dude. It's
Literally.
it's like fucking scary.
It was
Like,
horrible.
This is for every flu he gets.
It's
and then if you don't get him a water,
But
he's
can
like,
you imagine what I was
This is
like?
worse.
Can you imagine what I was like? Because he's right. I'm a bit dramatic when I'm ill. But can you imagine what I was like when I had the neurovirus?
No, yeah.
Like I was.
But it was the boy
completely
who cried
terrible.
wolf, because anytime Christian had a little bit of a bug, he would be out and be on the sofa like playing the dying routine.
No, I know.
So when he actually had the neurovirus, we were like, he's fine.
I had no sleep. I was vomiting profusely to where
Yeah,
I
it's
couldn't eat
intense.
anything. But
Where were we,
but
by
my
the way? I
point-
can't remember
in
where we were.
London.
In
My
London.
point was though as well is that to me, when I am ill, I almost welcome vomiting.
Because it makes you, it
Because
gets that
the
respite.
nausea
So
dissipates for
bad.
like 20 minutes.
Ugh.
Like sometimes I'm nauseous for an hour, and I think we can probably all agree the feeling of nausea is so
Terrible.
horrible.
And it's worse
that
when
I
you
actually-
can't vomit, because then it doesn't go away.
So I'm usually begging for it. I'm usually like, please let me vomit so I can feel fine for an hour,
The last time I threw up was at Cal Arts, and I think it was a bug, but it could have been the combination of food I put in my stomach that
That's
night.
a long time ago.
It was my sophomore year at Cal Arts. I remember it, and I was up the whole night feeling like shit. It didn't. I didn't throw up until
It
like
hadn't hit until like hours.
hours after, but I remember eating just an ungodly combination of food that night. I was like, yeah, I'm going to stay up and drink all this coffee. I'm going to walk down to the market and get this food. I ate mac and cheese and like Toblerone, like a whole bar of Toblerone. And then I remember
That goes so well.
the worst combination of shit.
Mac and cheese
sitting
and
at my desk watching
Toblerone.
food and eating this horrible dinner. And I go, ooh, that's not nice. I don't feel good.
Oh.
And then it just got worse, and I started having like fever dreams. I remember Gordon Ramsay being a part of my fever dreams for some reason.
Straight.
Get up!
the
You
bar.
stupid idiot!
Yeah. But that was the last time I threw up.
Donkey!
It could have been the combination of stuff, or I had a bug. I don't remember.
All this vomit talk is actually making me want some popcorn. So.
Yeah.
Story of the
Oh,
So earlier on this week, Jonah was with me. Where were we?
The Television Academy.
We were at the TV Academy, and we were going to the very first feisty event of the season. That is for your consideration. And afterwards, what's great about these things is you watch something and you listen to people talk. There's a panel, but afterwards, there is free food and free drinks.
Free drink.
The best part. I
Free.
mean, the content is great, but the
Free.
stuff that you consume is fantastic.
For free.
And so there are different lines of people walking around with trays. And this woman walks around with, there's not a lot of vegetarian options. So when they get a vegetarian option on a plate, you've got to like seek someone out. You've got to find someone with a tray, like find an insider and be like, what are the vegetarian options? What do you have? So they can find you. So people who are not just eating everything, who can eat everything, take all the vegetarian stuff.
You have to be on your guard.
You really do.
And you have to look like you're a vegetarian. You want to stand in a way that other people know that you are more entitled to that than they are.
I
So you
think
kind of go,
we did that.
Grow a
yeah, I
beard.
think we did that well.
We did that. So we
Dreads.
found this woman.
We found some
We
free
found her,
stuff.
and she came out and she brought vegetarian option to us. Fabulous flatbread.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Free.
You
Fabulous
guys-
free.
You know,
flat.
a
You guys-
surefire way of them like knowing like you're a vegan, just don't shave your crotch.
They'll know.
Fabulous free flatbread. Say that fast 5 times.
Fabulous free.
Fabulous
I'm not
free
even-
flatbread. Fabulous free flat.
Nicole, go.
Fabulous free flatbread.
That's Jesus.
Okay,
Fabulous
it's
free
hard.
flatbread. Fabulous free
That's
flatbread.
fabulous.
I mean,
What? 3, 2, 1. Fabulous free flatbread. Fabulous free flatbread.
Can I just
Fat-
point
fat
out that
bread.
when you guys were speaking, you'd already developed this kind of old couple dynamic where Nicole's speaking, just going for free. And he's just coming in with these little things. It's like there's this one sketch in England where this one woman is just speaking, and the guy just goes, sorry, Judas. Her name's Judith. He goes,
Sorry, Judith.
Sorry, Judas. And she talks about eating it. Sorry, I just thought it was sweet. It's funny. You guys already
We
have
finish
that.
each other's.
Sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say.
Not
so
owned
lame.
or anything with Disney.
We're so lame. Okay, so we had fabulous free flatbread.
Whoa.
Whoa! And what happened?
So, okay, I'll take over. So,
yeah, just stuff your face
Right,
first.
great time to take over.
I
I'm so
It was-
glad we're not using headphones right
It was
now.
pretty. Let's taste it. Popcorn. ASMR.
Beautiful.
I
This guy.
was enjoying the flatbread.
How many times?
Fabulous.
Move on from the
And
flatbread. We don't give a shit about the flatbread.
No, but okay, but
Move on.
the point about the flatbread was that it cost no money. It was the amount to have the flatbread was nil, 0.
Okay, where is it
I
going?
don't understand where
Where
this
is it going?
Like I also
Fucking
can't
don't know.
contemplate how many different ways you've come up with saying free
Yeah.
bread
no,
that's
it's true.
flat.
No,
Anyway,
after this, Jonah's now
by
going to
the way,
go. But
no money-
anyway, the
no
flatbread
money-
was pretty good. It was
No
flat.
money was
Right.
involved in
No,
this
it's
bread
true.
that's
And it was,
very
vegetarian.
vegan.
Yes.
I was looking vegetarian, eating the flatbread.
And what was good?
Hadn't shaved my
no, but
penis.
okay. Let me get on with it anyway. So let me get on with it. So anyway, this bread wasn't. It was flat. It wasn't.
What's going on?
Dude.
Move on from the flatbread.
I should have taken
Yeah.
over.
Move
No,
on.
I'm joking. I'm
Dude,
pissed.
this is like Marco Rubio at that debate where he's
Yeah.
like, we need to get away from this fiction that Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He does know what he's doing. Dude, have you seen that video? He says the same thing 3 times. It's
No,
almost like
I
he's
haven't
stuck.
seen it.
And he can't get
I
out.
think we've surpassed that.
I'm just
Dude.
messing with you guys. So I'm looking at her, and she's and then she just takes the last, she's
The crust.
eating the whole thing.
The crust.
She's holding the crust, and she just throws it away. And I go, and I go, what was wrong with that bit? And she looks at me and goes, I touched it. And I couldn't comprehend it. So I just like kind of was staring at her, and literally, how blank was my stare?
He was so blank. I said it 3 times. He goes, you didn't want it?
I know, but I actually couldn't like comprehend it, because it wasn't that like, I thought, did I touch it? And she's like, doesn't want me to touch it, or was it the woman that touched it?
And I go, I touched it. I touched it.
Did you say it to me like 4 times?
I said it like 4 times. He didn't even move. He was like,
I'm like,
I so relate to that.
and then it was crazy.
And so then when it finally hit him, he just started laughing. And I was like, Jonah, I touched that, so I don't want to eat that.
And then I threw mine away in solidarity.
He made me feel better by throwing away his crust. But this is a public announcement to everyone in my life. I have to admit to you right now, friends, family, growing up, I've always said, I don't like crust. And I'm here to admit to you today.
It's not about that.
I'm a secret crust lover.
Boom!
I don't not like crust.
Never.
I don't like eating the part that I touched,
Yep.
which is pizza and sandwiches.
That's
I
your
throw
buffer,
away the crust.
your germaphobe buffer.
Will your
Yes!
parents be surprised right now to learn this? Do they think you don't like crust, or do they know this information?
Maybe
Lisa,
a little
Todd?
bit of both. You know, maybe
How do
they
you
should.
eat chips?
I told you my
Popcorn.
chip story.
Yeah.
This is a great.
Do you just go like-
So that's another thing.
I do that.
When
and
I
almost
was
choke.
in middle school, I remember so vividly. This is, I don't know, I feel like me and you, Alex, same page. I was in middle school, and I had a science teacher who was talking to us about like the spread of bacteria and like germs and blah, blah, blah. And this is when I put together. This is when I realized in 6th grade that the issue with getting sick and spreading germs is the hands, because the hands are the dirtiest things on the body. So it's like, well, if you have dirty hands, you eat something, and what is on your hands goes into your system. So I was like, so 6th grade Nicole was like, okay, easy. I just won't touch my food.
Lesson learned.
That's easy, right?
Don't touch your food.
But
Easy.
then it became a problem when I also couldn't get to soap in certain situations.
I could not get to soap.
I would have to get really creative with the way that I ate, specifically chips or crisps.
Slightly
as
different
you call
technique
them.
to Alex.
Oh, let's
Slightly
hear it.
different technique. So what I do is, I'm not going to.
I actually need some new tricks.
So what I really, one way I'll demonstrate for all you YouTube.
The trick
I'll
mix.
describe.
Is to really
She takes the bag.
flatten the sides so you get a nice
Path.
corner, a little slide.
She's
for
flattening
it,
the side of a
perhaps.
crisp packet.
You get a, you
As
get
flat
a
as
slide.
fabulous free
And then-
flatbread.
and then
She's
you just
tipping the
pour it
crisp
in.
packet into her mouth, and she's pouring popcorn into her mouth, and she
Okay.
dropped one.
I think that's how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna choke.
that looked
on
like a
trail
commercial.
mix
This could
eating
be,
like that.
so that's one way. But there's a better way. No, I'm not done. We're
You
demonstrating.
don't have a.
Another
Jonah
way
put down the crisp packet, and
is
Nicole
to-
picked it back up,
Another way is to take the bottom of the bag
taking the bottom of the
and
bag,
push them up like a push pop.
and she's pushing up the crisp to the
Push
top
it
of the
up.
bag.
Alex's face!
And
Like a popsicle.
the great thing with popcorn.
He goes,
She's now
It's
pushed
like,
up the
this is so
popcorn
great.
to the top of the
The
bag
great
like a
thing with
popsicle.
popcorn is that you can literally, it sticks to your tongue.
It looks like ice cream.
She's now eating
Oh!
popcorn,
Throw popcorn.
like a fucking cone of ice cream.
Wow.
And let me ask you one question before
Yeah.
we carry on. Does this make you feel uncomfortable? I'm taking a pretzel and I'm rubbing it in between my hands.
Yes.
I don't like
And it's a
that.
soft mini salted pretzel,
Yes.
and I'm rubbing it in between my hands like I'm trying to create a fire, and then I'm putting it in my mouth.
No, you're. Oh.
Oh, dude. No, I
No.
Does
told.
that make you feel uncomfortable?
I remember we were bowling once, and food came around. You guys had ordered fries or something, and I go, "You guys are committing suicide right now by doing this."
The bowling and then the pizza. or
Like that
something.
is the most disgusting thing I could think of. Eating food, going to the bowling ball, putting your hands in those holes,
Ew.
bowling, and there's people's sweat and shit
that's
and
the
all this
stu-
germs
but
in
that's
there,
the
and then
stuff I
going
wish-
and just eating fries.
But that's the
again.
stuff I wish.
But
But that's
I'm
the
sorry.
stuff I
This
wish.
is like Alex. I can see him right now. It's like a scary story for him. Like this is like him around a campfire. Tell the scariest story you can.
But that's
And
the
it's like,
stuff I wish would
people
enter
are
my mind,
eating
because that's
around.
logical.
They're going to the bowling ball, and they're going to the food. Oh, that's logical. Bowling balls. Eating.
But here's the thing. When you're in that situation, when you're in this group, I have become a pro at like disguising my weird little quirks to make it like
Look
make
normal.
sense for everyone else.
Yeah, you say,
So
I
it's
don't like crust.
Well, yes, but like in this case, if I was there, what baffles me is from the mind of somebody who doesn't think about germs and doesn't, worry about getting sick. I would say, how are you going to bowl properly with greasy fingers?
Right.
Because then when you stick your
Right.
fingers in how are you gonna bowl? So I would be
I
like,
lube
well, I'm
up
not
my
gonna
fingers
do-
before I bowl.
That's how you do it.
And that's how it works. You get a nice little spin, and I carry around baby oil with me.
Right.
I'd like to
That's
take it
what I would
back
tell
because
them.
I'm not sure that the listeners adequately understand how flat this bread was.
Oh my
And
God.
it was completely
This
free.
is fucked.
Like, we didn't spend any money on that flatbread. Like,
Right.
we didn't go into our
I'm gonna flatten your head like flatbread, bitch.
Ooh.
Oh.
That wasn't me. I have a spirit guide called David. And
David?
Spirit
I have
guide.
a spirit guide called David, and I'm just
That wasn't
announcing him
me.
now. That wasn't me. That
Why
was
does that
David.
need to be announced?
Every now he comes. Hang on. Yes, David. Yes, we'll be done soon. Yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Yeah,
This is his last podcast.
Yeah.
No.
this is for sure,
Dave,
like,
David's
what the
been with me
fuck
my
are you
whole
doing,
life.
man?
I've never announced it, but I actually go on to shows, like those spirit chaser shows or those shows where they go to houses. But I go in complete prosthetics to disguise my identity as an actor and just as a person. But I have a spirit guide called David.
Spirit guide.
Yeah, and he can tell me when spirits are around, and I talk to him.
How long are we going to do this bit for?
What is
Not a
this
bit.
right
What's
now?
happening? What's happening? Yeah,
It's not a bit.
What
I'm
are
just
we-
saying that I didn't insult you. He's never come out that way,
Okay.
that harshly before.
I'll ask you again. How long are you going to do this for?
Excuse me?
Wait, so Christian one day is just gonna be walking down the street and be like, "Fucking asshole!" No, it was David.
It was
I'm sorry.
David. And
That'll
sorry,
make it
spirit guides
fine.
actually, if what you're talking about is they tune into like dead people and it's like a psychic thing, your spirit guide just insults people. And
No,
then you-
this is a one-off thing. This is a one-off thing. He was so annoyed about the flatbread. He's there listening all the time, and he's usually dormant. And he was there writing, going, if I hear one more thing about this fucking flatbread, I'm gonna. And he just came in, and he just literally took a hold of my body. He took
David
control
just
for a
came
second.
into you.
He just took control for a second. He said, "I'm gonna fucking squish your head like a flatbread, bitch." That was me impersonating David. That wasn't him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's gone. He's fine. He's
Okay.
relaxing.
Do you
he's
ever
good.
think about what your life would be if you just said whatever David was thinking all the time?
I wouldn't be a very nice person. He's a little
I
bit
wouldn't be
hostile.
very nice for it then.
I wouldn't be a very nice person.
Maybe you'd be able to speak better. Maybe David can actually fucking string a sentence together. How about that?
I'll, you know what? You want to speak to David?
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Dear God.
Oh my God. What is happening right now?
What is this turned into?
What? What do you want?
Wait.
I'm busy.
Dude.
Busy doing what?
Wait, what does David do?
I know a lot. I know a lot about you, Alex. I know more than Christian does.
You have to speak into the mic, dude.
Tell me something about myself, David.
I know what you were thinking last night.
What was I thinking?
This sounds weird. What were David and Alex doing last night?
You remember.
What is this, dude?
And he knows. All of you just need to let me
No.
have some rest.
I'm nixing this segment right now. David's done. David is done. Like, what is going on?
You've scared him
By the
away
way, I
now. You've
love-
scared him away now.
I love how David just now sounded nothing like the impersonation of him you did like 2 minutes. A few minutes ago, he was like this tough, like Southern dude.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Yo, what's going on?
Scared him away.
Christian, there
and
is
he
no
does- he-
continuity with this David character. He's changing constantly. There's
David
no-
is an energy, and David is an energy. Do you understand that David takes control of my body? So whatever action comes out is how he's feeling.
Tell
I think you need
David
to speak
it's
to
the best
Kate
way I can
about what
explain
you and
David
David do to your body.
To grab your left nut and squeeze really hard so you just don't talk.
Don't tell him to
anymore.
do that.
What if, okay, Christian, Christian, what if you're just a secret asshole?
Yeah.
You know what? David's offended, and he's now gone. And I don't think I'll ever see him again. You might have just lost me.
That's good.
My
I
spirit
think
guide.
we're
You know what?
okay.
It's time for a destination disease because we have one.
Sorry, David.
Destination disease.
Sorry, I'm just
It's gonna be so hard to sync that up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So he reminded me that this could be a destination disease because it happened in Miami, and he was like,
Perfect.
"Oh, what are things about you?" Because I was like, it's about to get weird. You're about to see another side of me. So I was telling him some things. This came up, and he was like, destination, Miami. So I filmed my series, I Am Frankie, for all of you that watch the show, like the show. That was filmed in Miami, random place. But I was there for
David loves Miami.
Dude, this
fuck
David
off.
shit.
Oh my God.
Someone whack him with the talking stick. Someone take the talking stick and kill David.
That's
Guys,
Alex.
what do you have against David?
This is what it's really.
This is to kill David.
not a
It's
fucking
the only
That's
thing.
it.
It's the only thing that can kill David.
That's the reason.
That's the kryptonite.
We've bought a magic key. That's why he started to take control.
Dude,
Get that stick away
we need
from
to
me.
Get you away from Red Bull. Or
Anyway,
something.
sorry. Nicole, carry on.
The
It's
stick
hers.
is going further
Carry
away
on.
from you.
That's
Oh my God. And now the stick is in his butt.
It's fine. It's up there.
Shitty ass pain.
Don't think that sounds right.
Great. Jonah,
just for the audio
podcast,
listeners, I
yeah,
stuck the magic stick.
stuck the magic stick up
my
his arse.
anus.
It was very graphic.
And
It's
that's
gone.
actually not what shooty ass pain is, but I'm experiencing something like that right now.
Miami.
Yes, Miami. So, season 1 of Miami. I probably spent a total in my life of maybe 7 or 8 months there. But when I first got there, I had never lived anywhere besides Texas or Los Angeles. I was completely on my own, didn't know anyone, didn't know anything. I had never been a series regular, never had that kind of work. There was a lot of new things happening in my life, and suddenly I'm on set. This is the very first week. And,
Very first week.
You know, they gave me a stack of season 1. It was like 800 pages or something ridiculous, and they're like, have fun, and we're reading it through, and I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. In the middle of me sitting alone in my room with all of my scripts around me, I get this terrible pain, and I'm not the kind of person to really think the worst other than vomit, but that's been years. So I was like, what's going on? I don't need to vomit right now. What's happening? It's this terrible pain that I hadn't experienced before, and I go so crazy, so far, so deep.
So deep.
So back.
So back.
That was-
Oh, she listens to the episode.
I do.
You know what? I'm not going to
Throwback.
say it. Carry on.
And tell us what was going on in your head at this time when you got the pain.
I got the pain, and I immediately thought, my appendix is going to burst right now. Right now. And I was like, I'm in Miami. I'm alone. I don't have any family. I don't even know where my health card is. Nobody's going to help me. And so then this crazy ass, I might have gotten the network involved. I might have contacted some people that are very high up on the chain.
Appendix.
And I was like, listen, I think my
Daniel.
appendix is going to burst. And
You
it's
think
really
it's imminent.
unlike
Not
me.
that your appendix had ruptured, but you were like, it's about to happen.
It's about to happen. It
Wow.
felt like the beginning of, and then I called my parents and I was crying and I was like, I just got a job and now I'm not even going to be able to film it because I'm going to be at the hospital, 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Turns out, I was just heavily constipated.
That's what it always is.
Always
I had
that.
the same thing.
It's
I
always
was
that.
sent home from school because of it, and then you just take a shit.
I did
and
the, I
it's
did
all
the
good.
same thing.
Honestly,
I thought I had a
happens to lot
hernia.
of people.
I remember it was for
Happens
me.
to a
It
lot of
wasn't an
people.
appendicitis. I thought it was a hernia. I couldn't go. Well, I will say before this, there was a plank challenge. Do you remember this, Christian?
Yes.
We did this plank challenge, and for a plank is like when you are on the floor, and all the boys in the school were doing it, and it was me and this last. He was like, I thought it was my best friend next to me. We'd been planking for 7 minutes.
Wow.
7 minutes, and I won, but it was really. I wish that I hadn't, because immediately I couldn't really get up. I know that sounds.
That was that. Sorry, can I just say? Let's replay that laugh. That was
On
Joaquin Phoenix Joker laugh. I mean, didn't it sound exactly
Yeah,
like it?
dude, that was close. Ooh, fuck.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
Terrifying.
I can do the laugh, but
God
Don't
damn.
just pretend like you didn't just do it by accident and then you held on to it. It's kind of going further and further away from the.
Dude, this is turning into
Time
something
to
else.
wrap up the
We're
episode
getting
soon.
possessed.
Yeah.
We're getting by sex
All right.
demons now.
we do have to wrap up this episode soon, but
okay, it's fine. And then I couldn't walk, and then it was just terrible. This is not really a great story. I just couldn't walk, and I thought it was a hernia.
Let's
And,
wrap
but and then I ended up being a lot of gas too, which I don't know.
I
whether
think
that
it's
was the
really
same.
common. Was what I'm trying to say is
Yes.
that I've been there.
Yeah.
And I think we've all been there, where if you're constipated or just have terrible gas, it can hurt. Okay, but let's start
Were
with
you going to
Alex.
say something, Alex? I feel like I cut you off.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember the worst traveler's constipation I ever had was in England. I was like 9 or something.
Was it when you come to see me in Mary Poppins?
No, it was way before that. This was like 2001 or something.
Wow.
Like that summer. And I just remember not being able to shit for 9 days.
Oh, I remember this.
I
remember this
hearing that.
because
I hurt
Yeah.
right
Really?
now hearing that number.
and
I thought
Lonnie,
you said, I've heard about this.
No.
Like, wait,
no,
why?
but my mum.
It was
mum
on
has
the
talked-
news, dude.
Mum
It
has
was on
talked
the
about it.
fucking news.
Mum, I remember the stories of knowing that Lonnie had to go and get you something. I think you had to have it like to take, or it may have even been like an enema or something. And I remember it got that bad that, and I remember speaking to Nick on the phone, and speaking to Nick and saying, Alex is having poo problems.
Alex,
Like I remember
is
that.
having
And
poo
she was explaining to us, we would
problems.
have been like 7, I think.
yeah.
6 or 7.
Alex is having poo problems.
problem.
Oh.
I had poo
So
problems,
great.
dude. That was gnarly.
Anyway, thank you, Nicole. It's been
Thank
lovely
you,
having you
guys.
on.
What if my name was?
What if my name was seismic ratio of vagina?
What if my name was?
What if my name was Sweatylicious Magic Butthole Stick?
What if my name was?
By the way, is it still up there?
What if my name was David?
Oh.
It is though.
Maybe it
Plot
is.
twist.
I will just say, if anybody wants to get in contact with David, there will be a separate email and a separate account. And if you would like to have, wow, no, but if you would like to,
Ew.
if there's,
Ew, David.
Does anyone want this?
I'll have
Who
it.
gets the reference?
If you would like to have,
Don't get
Butthole stick.
if you'd like to have a psychic reading, and if you'd like to even just contact the dead,
Where's this episode going?
email me, and David will call you on the show, and David
yeah.
will help you with your
And
spiritual needs.
just for the listeners who are wondering, the bread was not a little round; it was very flat, and it was
Free.
completely free of charge. Like you didn't have to pay for anything. Like there was no
Minor
charge.
discomfort in your upper chest. Immediately assume it's a cardiac arrest. Oh, doctor, please give me an answer. Got this pain in my left ball and I just know that it's cancer.
Know that it's cancer.
Now all of our doctors are feeling harassed. So this is probably our last pod.
Sounds like pneumonia.
Probably our last podcast.